Real Tech. Hi, that's the one. That's the one. Now you can hear me. Tell me you can hear me. Real Tech. Hi, that's the one. That's the one. Now you can hear me. Tell me. Real Tech. Hi, that's the one. That's the one. Now you can hear me. Tell me. Real Tech. Hi, that's the one. That one. Now you can hear me. Tell me. Real Tech. Hi, that's the one. That one. Now you can hear me. Tell me. Real Tech. Wow, why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over again? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over again? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over again? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over again? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over again? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That one. Now you can hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That one. Now hear me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That one. Now me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Tell me. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Why does it keep on doing the same thing over and over? That me. Okay. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Doing the same thing over and over. That me. Okay. Real Tech. This is going to take a while. Doing the same thing over and over. That me. Okay. This is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. Okay, that didn't work. Let's see, where's my... Okay, that didn't work. Let's see, where's my... Okay, so we're back to this. I'm starting to think that OBS might be a little buggy. So this is display capture. All right. Okay, so we're back to this. I'm starting to think that OBS might be a little buggy. Real sense. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Media source, that's not gonna work. Display capture. I mean, it's gotta be video capture device. And it should be window capture. I mean, that makes the most sense. Okay, that's what I want. Real sense. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Media source, that's not display. I mean, it's gotta be video capture device. And it should be window capture. I mean, that makes the most sense. Okay, that's what I want. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then usually when I do my record my show, I do it like this, and then I say, "Hi, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. It is October 21st, 2019. It's a Monday. It's about 6:15 p.m. Record my show. Wow, it really takes a long time to go over the internet, though, because I'm monitoring it on where? On here, I guess. Yeah. I do it like this, and then I say, "Hi, this is Martin Drummond." Okay, and I just wanted to show you this. October 21st, 2019. This is a post I did. Here, hang on, let me turn this down. I can hear myself way behind me. I just wanted to point out to you that, look, I don't know if everybody just hates Sunni Muslims I don't know, what do you like? Shia Muslims? You like Iranian Muslims? But, I mean, Russia's bombing the shit out of them every day in Syria. You know, you complain about Yemen. Those are Shia Muslim, which I agree. I don't think we should be. I think we should be standing up to. But you know, 10,000 maybe died so far in Yemen, and you get all upset, and you say no more. You know, don't let them do this to Yemen. And let me tell you something. People have been starving to death in Yemen forever. I mean, it's a very poor country. As a matter of fact, probably the best thing that ever happened to it is our bases. So you get all upset. Where does this come from? Why are you so upset about 10,000 people dying in Yemen, and the Saudis? I think they did bomb shortly after the attack on Aramco, the refinery, and kill some more people. I'm not sure about that though. I haven't heard anything. Have you? Haven't heard anything in weeks really about bombing Yemen. But this is every day, okay? More than 20 airstrikes just in one town. And every day I can get on here for Idlib. Jesus, they hit a civilian car with a tank rocket. Jesus Christ, man. And Russia dropped an air fuel bomb. Man, this is like a nuclear bomb. Okay? And here they're shelling here, and they're shelling here. And this is a slow day. Man, usually there's like 20 or 30 of these red dots every day. So, I mean, and okay, let's say that these people are Al-Qaeda, or let's call them Islamic State, or ISIS, Islamic State in Syria. Okay, then tell me, who did they attack? Where did they attack in the United States? Where did they attack in Europe? Where in the last 3 or 4 years have any of these Syrians, because these are Syrians, and they've only, you know, the people who left Iraq, they were war hardened, and they're killers, man. That's what they are. You know, that's what war does to people. So they left Iraq and they were refugees in Syria. Okay. And, you know, yeah, now they're, but they were the only fighters in Syria. All these people in Idlib and through here and all through the Kurdish area, they're all farmers. They don't know how to fight back. And Assad, the beast Bashar, was tearing into them, throwing them in prisons and then mass hanging them in prisons. And so, yeah, they welcomed these fighters from Iraq. But first of all, in Iraq, even if they did attack Americans, come on, really? You think that there's something wrong with them attacking American troops in Iraq? We're the invading army. Of course they're going to attack us. Of course the Iraqis are going to attack us. But I never heard of them attacking, even right now. I mean, they're attacking Kurds. You know, this is they killed some SDF guys, some Kurds. So, but there's all these Americans running around. As a matter of fact, there's Americans, each one of these is an oil field. and there's Americans there protecting them. But the Islamic State, it's not like they're afraid to. I mean, if they wanted to, they could figure out a way to. They could at least try. You know, they don't do it. They never have. So where is all the fear from? Why are we so afraid of Islamic State? What have they ever done to us? You know, except for maybe fight back. Al Qaeda in Iraq did a lot of damage. And you know what? Whenever I hear Tulsi Gabbard talk about how she went to Iraq to fight the enemies who attacked America on 9/11, Tulsi, what are you, a dumb fuck? The people who attacked us on 9/11 weren't from Iraq. Al Qaeda in Iraq has nothing to do with 9/11. Al Qaeda in Iraq was a bunch of guys. Most of them got thrown in prison camps and tortured and everything, and when they came out they were radicalized. They were militants. That's what that's all about, Al Qaeda in Iraq. And IS and ISIS, they're just trying to capture territory so that they have a way to protect themselves from all these. I mean, look who's attacking them. Russia's bombing the shit out of them. The United States bombed the shit out of them. They totaled Raqqa. 3,000 innocent civilians killed. You know, they bombed the hell out of them, and Iran is constantly attacking them. And Iran has Iranian troops in Iraq being trained by the United States. You want to talk about, the CIA is training Al Qaeda in Syria, which is nonsense. But we're training Iranian troops in Iraq, and they're called PMUs, and they're going to Syria. And yeah, of course they're attacking Shia Sunni Muslims. Okay? And then you've got Hezbollah coming over here. And why do you think Hezbollah is in Syria fighting Sunni Muslims? Because they want to get nice and trained up, so when they go back to Lebanon they can fight the Christians. You know, and we're letting them do it. We're letting them all do all this stuff. So you got all these people, the United States and Syria and Turkey's up here going, man, this is, you know, we're all Sunni Muslims. We're all friends with all the Sunni farmers and stuff. And you know what? We're letting this massacre go on just the other side of our border. And I hear everybody, I know I talk about how I think we should get out of Syria and we should let the countries that are there do something about it. So Jordan on this side, and Turkey on this side. And then they should take care of it. And then when they try and go in to stop this genocide in the United States, all these people on my side, progressives, they're all Tulsi Gabbard fans. She went over and talked to this guy, Beast Bashar. He's killed over 500,000 people, and I'm guessing, because it was 250,000 in like 2013. And they were just getting started. Okay? And, she's been an apologist for him all along. And she's gone there and talked to him. And the whole thing looks awful. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but she's just completely... I don't know where she gets her bias. She wants to support Bashar al-Assad, but she wants to kill Sunnis in Iraq. She went to Iraq to kill Sunnis because she thinks they were, all 23 million of them were on a plane flown into the World Trade Center. Man, go back to Hawaii. Do a, hula dance or something. You're really not qualified to be, Hawaiians? What were you thinking when you elected her? Elect people with a little bit of savvy when it comes to politics and international politics. So Erdogan's, I agree with him, man. He's made up his mind. He's had enough of this genocide. And now you got, I left out the Kurds. Not only, in the Kurdish area, with the help of the United States, and they couldn't have done it otherwise, because look at what happens when the United States is reeling on its heels. The Sunni won't let the Kurds hold on to this land. And of course we're not going to get to take it. Sunnis aren't going to get to take it back because Bashar al-Assad's rushing in and he wants to crush them. Why does he hate his own people? All that they did was they said that, they didn't have water to raise their crops because Bashar al-Assad controls the water projects, and he didn't allow them to have any water to raise their crops. So they were all starving, and they got out in the streets, and a couple of kids did a couple of things on the wall, graffiti, and they took those kids and they tortured them, and that made them madder. And then they started shooting snipers. They put snipers on the roofs, and they were just picking them off when they were marching peacefully down the street. Why do you hate your own people so much? Because you just make it worse, And now it's to where, we can't go back. Let me tell you something about Bashar al-Assad. He's part of a tradition, and he thinks of himself just like Saddam Hussein did. He thinks of himself as one of the ancient kings of Sumeria and Ur. And Sumeria and Ur is where capitalism was created, and where you had to be strong, and you had to, rule over people, and where you had to be brutal, a brutal dictator. Okay, that was 6,000 years ago, man. Get over it. We're trying to have a democracy here and a constitution. And you're trying to be a guy from 6,000 years ago who wants to ride around in a chariot and whip people in the streets as he rides along. There's no place for that kind of mentality. And Russia, what's the matter with you? Where did you get this idea? And Lee Camp, man, what's the matter with you? I mean, yeah, I get it. It's the only gig you could get on Russian television. When you get up there and you go, oh, these people don't make me say anything. Oh, bullshit. Oh, bullshit. Let me hear you start talking like I'm talking right now on RT. And let's see how long you last. Okay, but I'm telling you, we need to all get down and say to the Russians, look, come on, man, you're a modern country. You know that what you're doing is wrong. Yeah, I get it. Some Sunni Muslims have got a stick up their ass and they can't, and they're backwards. Well, guess what? You got backwards Christians here in the United States, and backwards people in every little town in every country in the world. And you know what we do? We ignore them. You think America is going to let a hillbilly run the country? No, because all the people know they're fucking loonies, man. They're like the guy in the park who's talking himself and chasing invisible things. Why are you worried about a few backwards people in Syria, because for the most part they're fairly educated and fairly. So but you're gonna go pick out the fucking worst piece of shit in Syria and throw a camera on him, watch him cut somebody's head off with a jagged knife, and then that's what we're supposed to think all Syrians are like? Nah, man. You guys are crazy. Okay, let me see if you guys have any questions or anything. How do I do that? No questions yet. As far as I can tell. I can't tell here if anybody's even watching. How did I see that before? I can't tell here if anybody's even watching. Before it said like 2 people watching, 3 people watching, a few people. I think I'll go back to progressive news, and I think I'll delete this post. No, wait a minute. I don't know why it automatically goes to my, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, I think I've gotten the bugs worked out. I'd appreciate it. Follow the link and watch my live stream. How does that sound? Okay, now we post that and let's share it public and share it with friends. I'll tell you what, I'll bet you I've figured out how to do this faster than anybody else ever did. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, what have I been going for here? I'm not sure. And maybe I'll turn these off. Because it has cooled off a lot here. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and there you go. Turn off all those fans. Alright, let's go see. Okay, we got one. Oh, somebody wanted to join my group. Kentuckians for Bernie Sanders. Sure, I'll go. I will go. Approve her. Because you know what? She's an amazing person. She supports Bernie Sanders, She is an amazing person. Okay. So I've talked a little bit about Syria. And I'll tell you what, man, you may have all these preconceived ideas about Syria because you love Tulsi Gabbard. The only thing I can tell that, well, I mean, she is a progressive, but you know what? I don't even know how she's a progressive. She doesn't, I suppose she backs Medicare for all, right? Does she just basically back everything that Bernie backs? Because that would be a Hillary Clinton. I remember in 2016 when Hillary Clinton, you know, by the time we got to the end of the primary, you couldn't tell the difference between them. Of course, she was lying, and that's really the big difference. You know, I mean, there's a huge difference between somebody who talks about, you know, so the same two people are watching me. Yow. Always with that. So, you know, gosh, who are you guys? I don't know how to tell who's watching unless you say something. And this is in Firefox, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I see 3 people are watching now, so that's nice. I just wish I knew who you were. Anyway, so let's go. If you missed what I had to say about Syria, well, if you're still supporting I can't imagine anybody supporting the beast Bashar. But I'll tell you what, I wish the United States would turn around right now and support Erdogan. Because Erdogan would help us secure our oil. And it is our oil. You understand that Conoco's in there because they were allowed, you know, they've been in there for 50 years. Which means that the Syrian regime was perfectly okay with them, you know, sharing money, because the Arabs don't, I mean, they're learning, but they don't know how to pump oil. So they do invite American, so, you know, anyway, I'm not going to go back to that. If you missed it, I'm sorry. I pointed out that every day Bashar al-Assad and the Russians are bombing the hell out of them. Okay, so here's, you know, this is a big deal with me, and I think all progressives support Assange, and I think all neoliberals and Hillary Clinton. How can you be a Hillary Clinton fan? I guess you would like to see Assange executed. Is that right, Hillary Clinton fans? Is that what you want? You want to see Assange? I know I can't imagine a progressive wanting Assange executed or wanting him brought to the United States at all, or can stand seeing him in this prison and they won't let him out. I mean, we need him out here, man. I used to sit and wait every day, check YouTube and Google over and over and over, trying to find information on Assange, just the latest thing, because every time he spoke, he made so much sense. And if anybody hasn't seen why he did what he did, then go to, and you know what? Let me show you something, man. This is amazing to me. So this is what I'm telling you should do if you don't understand why Assange did what he did. Okay, this video has 17 million views. Okay, but watch what happens when I type it in. Okay. Okay, we got a whole bunch of hits here down below. Collateral Damage, Burna Boy, Collateral Beauty, Collateral Trailer, Collateral Damage, and then all the way down, Collateral Club Shootout. So Collateral. Okay. So we'll do damage. Collateral. Am I doing this right? No, it's collateral murder. Okay, we got okay, now there's no hits. A video with 17 million views, and it gets 0 hits down here, down in the suggestion box. So if you start typing in collateral, it won't even show up, but then there it is. Just amazes me. Because they're trying to divert your attention. They don't want you to go there. 16 million views. And this, of course, if you haven't seen this, and I'm not going to watch it because it's too fucking depressing. Too Reuters. I mean, well, if you haven't seen it,
Master 6, this is Bushmaster 2-6.
Got a bunch of bodies laying there.
Alright, we'll be engaging.
Roger, go ahead. I can't get them now because they're behind that building. Yeah, Roger, I just estimated there's about 20 of them. There's one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's...
Hey, Bushmaster Element, copy at White 6. That's a weapon.
Yeah. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18.
that's a camera.
I'm Red White 6, Bushmaster 6 Romeo. Roger. Fucking break.
Hotel 26 is Crazy Horse 18. Have individuals with weapons.
4 radio.
Rio Banners 14. Yep, he's got a weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18. Have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
Alright, we'll be engaging.
Roger, go ahead.
They're in an armored helicopter that these guys don't even see, probably. And if they do, they know that they're not armed and they're journalists and they're checking something out, and they're obviously not the least bit worried because, wow.
I can't get them now because they're behind that building.
Any Bushmaster Element, copy.
We got an RPG.
Alright, we got a guy with an RPG.
I'm gonna fire. Okay.
No, hold on, let's come around.
Behind buildings right now from our point of view.
Yeah, we're gonna come around and
Hotel
get them
26
from
has eyes on individual with RPG, getting ready to fire. We won't get.
Yeah, we got a guy shooting. Now he's behind the building.
God damn it.
Speed coming around.
Negative. He was right in front of the Brad. About there 1 o'clock. Haven't seen anything since then.
Just fucking.
These guys remind me a lot of cops in the United States. You know, they're just so fucking trigger happy. I don't know, and nobody shot at them. They're in an armored helicopter. They could probably take a hit from an RPG.
Once you get on, it's open.
And they don't have RPGs, and they're looking at the same thing we're looking at. There's no way I would fire. As a matter of fact, I think I'd just back off to eliminate the chance of being hit by an RPG.
Again, Roger. I see your element. You got about 4 Humvees out along this.
You're clear.
All right, firing.
Line here. When the state line.
Let me know when you get it.
Or shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260s.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger.
Keep shoot. Keep shoot.
Let's map the 2-6. We need.
So, you know, this is why Assange is in jail. I mean, especially the human reaction to this video. I mean, the rest of the cables and all this shit, none of them mattered. Nobody was, I mean, everybody knows who's where and what they're doing. American, you know, like my dad, everybody knew he worked for Singer Sewing Machine. You know, back then, they didn't know that everybody, for every American company, has lots of people in their company working for the CIA, Army Intel, and even if they don't know it. But my dad knew. I mean, basically, he goes all over the Middle East with his camera, taking pictures and meeting people and talking to people and learning things, and then he writes up reports and he hands them into Singer Sewing Machines in Beirut. And he said to me, well, where do you think those reports went? Say no more. Say no more. You know, he knew where they went. And I know who his connections were. And I have to say that it was pretty obvious to me that it was either Army Intel or the Israelis. And he was just a little guy. Yeah, he went, when he was in Saudi Arabia, I'm pretty sure he was helping build the Mujahideen to go to Russia. You know, my dad was a big time, you know, anti-Russian, you know, he fell for that whole thing, hook, line, and sinker. So, this video really doesn't say much, so just doesn't. I mean, it's just them running around and they're watching, waiting for Julian Assange and videotaping the protesters. It's a good video, though, but it's kind of mundane. There's just not that much to see, really, is what you come down to it. And it's just... Assange is just screwed, you know. They've got him. And they're doing everything they can. I mean, they're limited as to what they can do, right? Because this is England. But they're not either. If they want to risk it, they can do all kinds of things to him. But, what they'll do is they'll keep him in there and they'll work it around. until they can really mess with him. And they've got him, you know, there's not much you can do.
Well, you will definitely do what I intended to do, which is recap
These guys are all alive, so it doesn't give me a chance to go through the... Okay, here we go. So somewhere there's another audio going. Okay, so he's going to talk to Nina Turner. And, you know, Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton all the way. Hillary Clinton 2.0. And that's all I gotta say, right? That's all I gotta say. Hillary Clinton. Cartoon. And she's still floating around out there. It's like she can't resist being in the media. She can't resist. She's an egomaniac. You know, we always talk about men having such huge egos, and it's true. You know, I've got a huge ego, but you know, there's self-esteem there too. And there's checks. You know, I check myself. I don't get too excited unless I know I'm right. You know? Like I can talk to you about Syria and be totally the opposite of you. And I know because, you know what, I've studied the shit out of Syria. Plus I lived in Lebanon, and I've spent my whole life studying the Middle East. Mainly Lebanon and Syria, and Saudi Arabia, and 9/11 and all that stuff. But, phew, boy, you name it, I've watched it. And I don't read, but I listen to audiobooks, so... But I do read on the internet, and I've read pretty much everything you can think of on the internet. Okay. So... let's see what I want to talk about. Okay, I watched the rally over the weekends, and for those of you who watch, pay attention to progressive news, you'll know that I put up the rally. Do I think it's a game changer? The rally itself, no. The endorsements, yeah. Because it really, really lets all those people out there who don't support Bernie know what's going on. Right? Because everybody loves Cortez. And I think a lot of people respect Tlaib and the other one who... but as far as his 25,000 in New York City, man, he did 25, 35,000 over and over again in 2016. And as much as I think it should be a game changer, as much as I think Americans should look at it and say, hey, you know, this guy's got something. Americans you know, there's like 50% of Americans or 70% Americans who are brain dead. They just don't get it. And I really think what it comes down to is Americans have it too good. You know, yeah, we're screwed. We don't seem to realize when we've got a monster behind us gobbling us up. You know, until you lose your house, until you end up with a huge medical bill, you just don't get it. So the Republicans and the establishment Democrats just play the numbers. You know, they know that there's enough Americans out there. And you know what the crime is there? Is how do you not care about your neighbor? I don't care if it's one person. And if they're dirty and they're nasty and they're smelly. One person like that in the United States, and I would be like, fuck all the people who don't care about them. And I get how easy it is to dislike those people, you know. They don't want to work. They don't want to participate. They're angry and they're hard to deal with. But you know what? It's not their fault. And if it was one person, I'd say, well, why don't we do something about that person? Why don't we give them a place to live? Why don't we give them a shower? Why don't we give them some transportation, make them look nice, make them feel good about themselves so that they can walk into an interview and say, you know, I'll push a broom or something. And then on the other hand, look at me. I worked a shit job for 23 years, 22 years. And my body started falling apart. I couldn't do it anymore. And yeah, I feel like, you know, and on top of that, I'm 58 years old, and you know what? How long does a guy have to work before he deserves to be retired? You know, can't you guys, you young guys, pick up the slack here? Or do you all want to, you know, sit behind a desk and yell at people? Is that what you consider? And I always like to point out this video because I lived in Russell, Kentucky while I was still doing this shit job. And this guy went out of business, and you know, I used to go into his shop and I'd price things, and then I'd go down to Walmart, and sometimes his prices would be 2, 3, 5 times what Walmart charged. And I'm poor, right? I'm the working poor. I mean, I lived on rice, and I felt lucky when I could, you know, I'd make rice soup all the time out of chicken broth and rice. And I felt lucky when I could afford some vegetables or some meat to go into it. So I didn't have any money, so I couldn't pay his prices. Believe me, I would be more than happy if I had the money to buy tons of stuff from this guy and keep him in business. Of course, it wouldn't have mattered because most of the other people in that area don't have money to buy from him either. And there's a Walmart right down the street. And of course, some silly dream refers to the American dream. And this is me, by the way. I do all the instruments, everything. It's not that I don't care, or that I don't see. I want the same old thing for me. I guess it's just that I can't make it clear of some stupid thought. You know, and I'm referring to this invisible bar. I mean, it's obvious that people like me are held back. I don't know how they do it. Well, I can imagine, you know. They keep track of us. And they keep us down. You know. They threw me in jail because they didn't like what I had to say. You know, so they're obviously just waiting for any opportunity to pounce on us. So this was an interesting story, huh?
From home. We had to go to court just to air our initial reports after an attempt by the state to stop us from showing you what's going on. John Bolt joins us with his latest investigation.
We are being swamped again with complaints, very similar to what happened last year. But we can give you an in-depth look at one case that exemplifies the things we are hearing in hundreds of complaints. Allegations of quick trigger child removal with no proof of parental wrongdoing, and then retaliation against those who fight back. You are looking at something hundreds of Kentuckians experience every year, but few others ever see. It's videotape of a confidential hearing to remove children from the custody of their parents. While it may take weeks, months, or years to take someone's freedom away in a circuit courtroom, it takes 17 minutes to take 3 of Vanessa Shank's children away in a family courtroom. This hearing consists of a judge, a state-appointed attorney to represent the children, a Cabinet for Health and Family Services attorney, and to his left, the only witness he will call, state social worker Carlonda Fields, who testifies Shanks gets no child support from an absent father who is thousands of dollars behind, and this is why she says Shanks' children have been taken away.
You know, I mean, really, it's the illegalization of poverty, right? And, you know, I don't know, maybe this, I haven't heard any, there wasn't any evidence, so, I mean, it's not like she beat the kids or, you know, but she didn't have money to do things, and, well, here you can.
The children are in our custody because of 2 substantiated reports of neglect. The first one was educational neglect on the children. The second one was medical neglect.
Truancy was the original allegation, but they then came to the home and said that the home was unsafe because I just got done doing laundry and there was a bleach bottle on the floor.
Let me tell you, in 11th grade, I skipped 109 classes, and I still got a B average at the end of the year. And if they had come and tried to take me away from my mother and father, there would have been hell to pay. You understand? Absolute hell. But because my parents are who they are, nobody even thought about it. But they're coming in on these people who have no money, and they're trying like hell to, you know, and they take away their kids, put them in foster care, put them up for adoption. And honestly, I can't tell you, I don't think that black kids 9, 10 years old I don't think there's really a lot of people out there who want to adopt them. I mean, obviously they're going to have a lot of problems. They're growing up in this culture that we have, this violent culture. So, I mean, they're really putting the kids, you know, out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Proof offered of educational neglect is testimony from the social worker that one of the 3 children they removed had a kindergarten reading level even though he was 11. As for the number of school days missed, no school records are offered, just an opinion from the caseworker.
Was because she just was unable to get up and get them to school.
On the allegation of medical neglect, no evidence of that is offered for 2 of the 3 children. The social worker testifies the other child, who has spina bifida, has missed some doctor's appointments.
These children have been neglected in the sense that she hasn't done what a reasonable parent would do.
God. I mean, I'm sorry, but this just doesn't look right to me. It doesn't pass the smell test.
Hi, my name is Marcin Kluczynski, and I'm the founder and CEO of Malwarebytes. Back in 2004, I discovered the...
And all these people, they get to have their ads on. You know, do I get any money for ads? No. Oh, they saved the border collie. Okay, I'm going to just check. Maybe there's some people here. Nope, nobody's saying anything. Oh, there's only one person watching now. Well, thank you. You are a trooper. Oh no, there's still 3 people watching. But I don't know if they're actually watching, because I've asked you guys to, you know, just type something into chat, and I haven't seen anything. I had like a live chat window. So I don't know. I don't know where the chat would show up, even if there were any chat. So I'm not going to worry about it. This is my first time, and oh, what's this? Live chat. Anybody paying attention? Just type something in if you're paying attention. Okay, well, apparently not. So, I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to wrap this up for now. Not really sure where my music went, but that's okay. So this is Martin Drummond for Progressive News, and I was live for once. And the whole crazy thing is caught on YouTube, so I'll get to see how crazy it was. I know the beginning was a mess, but you guys start somewhere, right? So peace out. Everybody take it easy.